How do you deal with anxiety as an entrepreneur? See, I believe entrepreneurship is a wild game. You could be succeeding one day and feel like you're on top of your game. The next day you feel like burning shit to the ground. That's why as entrepreneurs, we have to learn how to deal with anxiety. Otherwise, anxiety will consume us, it will sabotage our success, and eventually make us feel like a failure. Welcome to the King's Code Podcast. Welcome to the King's Code Podcast. My name is Raul, Villacis, and today's topic is about how do you deal with anxiety as an entrepreneur. See, I believe entrepreneurship is a wild game. You could be succeeding one day and feel like you're on top of your game. The next day you feel like burning shit to the ground. That's why as entrepreneurs, we have to learn how to deal with anxiety. Otherwise, anxiety will consume us, it will sabotage our success, and eventually make us feel like a failure. So let me give you some stats. According to the research, it says that entrepreneurs are 50% more likely to end up with anxiety and depression, as opposed to 32% of people who have a regular job. So imagine right now as an entrepreneur, you're dealing with being part of the statistic. You're more likely to have anxiety. You're more likely to be depressed. Why? Because you're taking more risk. You're facing more challenges. The average guy who has a 9-to-5 job, at the end of his job, at the end of his shift, he could go home and he could turn it off. But see, you as an entrepreneur, we don't know how to turn it off. It just continues to go and go and go, and eventually, that's what creates that anxiety. Another statistic says that 56% of entrepreneurs have been clinically diagnosed with depression or other stress-related diseases. Because at the end of the day, we haven't been taught how to deal with this anxiety. We've been sold a dream that the moment that we become an entrepreneur, we're gonna make millions of dollars, we're gonna have financial freedom, but nobody told us how hard it was going to be. 42% of small businesses are burnout. That's why they wanna throw in the towel. That's why they wanna give up. Because they don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. So how do we deal with this anxiety? How do we deal with this as an entrepreneur? So I'm going to give you 3 things that I do every single day in order for you to deal with this anxiety. Because in the last decade, I've been training and coaching entrepreneurs to deal with this. Because unless you have emotional fitness, this anxiety, the stress is going to end up killing you. See, we've been taught emotional intelligence. There's tons of books that have been written about emotional intelligence. The awareness of your emotions, the awareness that you're stressed out. Well, great, congratulations. If you're an entrepreneur, you know you're stressed out. You know you have anxiety. You know you have fear, but you have not been taught how to deal with it through emotional fitness. See, emotional intelligence is knowing that you're depressed. Emotional fitness is actually going to the fight and fighting your depression, dealing with your depression, not hiding from the darkness, not hiding from the fear, but facing it. So the first thing I do is I begin my day with gratitude. And I tell my guys every single time that they come to me with a complaint about their business, about their marriage, about the shit that they're going through, I ask them, what's working right now? What's working? What are you grateful for? I see some of them get pissed off because they don't want to talk about what's going on. They want to talk about the problem. See, if you focus on the problem, you're never going to find a solution. The key here is to reframe what's going on right now and focus on what's working in your life. See, as men, we know that every single time that we get sick, man, we act like babies. And that is nothing worse than seeing a man sick because we act like babies. Like that's why God chose women to have babies, because we want to be able to do it. See, every time I get sick, all I have to do is remember that my dad had muscular dystrophy. And I remember when he was alive and he was in a wheelchair, all I had to do was just pick up the phone and just talk to him. And I could see that my worst day could not compare to his worst day. That at the end, perspective will give you the opportunity for you to see that shit could be worse. And the second thing is to find perspective. To ask yourself, how could this be worse? Because at the end of the day, somebody out there has it worse than you. See, if you focus on how this thing right now that you're dealing with, this depression could be worse, you probably realize that, man, you're better off just dealing with what you have right now. Somebody out there has it worse than you. So first, you start with gratitude. Second, you start with perspective. And third, you start by asking yourself, what are the words that I'm speaking? What am I saying to myself? See, if we don't watch ourselves talk, eventually we're going to talk ourselves out of doing the work. We're always beating ourselves down as entrepreneurs. I know nobody's going to cheer us up. Nobody's going to be our cheerleader. But at the end, you are your biggest cheerleader. You are the biggest asset for your business, for your family. So what you say to yourself matters. So what is the self-talk? What are the words that are coming out of your mouth that you're listening to it, that you're programming your mind? Are you constantly saying, man, I'm always failing, or I'm never going to get out of debt, or I'm never going to catch a break? Are those words being programmed in your subconscious mind? Are you speaking life to your business? Are you speaking life to yourself? Because unless you program yourself consciously, your subconscious mind is going to be programmed by your negative thoughts, by your negative words. So again, start with gratitude, then create perspective, then start speaking life into your business, start speaking life into creating a compelling future. I know so many men right now that are struggling and they think that the shit that they're going through right now is the worst thing that could happen to them. But the truth is that somebody out there has it worse than you and they were able to figure this shit out. So why not you? You have the choice. You could choose to be a victim of your circumstances or you could choose to be the creator of your destiny. But you can't do both. Because at the end of the day, your job is to fight the anxiety. Your job is to fight the depression. Your job is to make sure that as an entrepreneur, you're in the battlefield, you're in the arena, because nobody's going to do it for you. That's why we do what we do. Because at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It's for those brave souls that are willing to fight the darkness in your mind, the negative thoughts, the negative thinking, the negative words. If you learn how to reframe your mind by changing your focus, by starting with gratitude, by having perspective, by reprogramming your mind with affirmations, with saying things to yourself that are going to actually work, I guarantee you that depression and anxiety are going to have less power over you. I've been doing this work for the past 10 years, and it's not easy. It's not easy lifting men up. It's not easy helping entrepreneurs go to the next level. But you know what's not easy? Regret. Let the pain of regret be bigger than your anxiety. Let the pain of regret be bigger than your fear. Let the pain of regret fuel you to actually do something about your situation. Because the moment that you have perspective, the moment that you have gratitude, the moment that you can actually speak words of life into your business, into your life, then from that place, you gotta take action. From that place, you gotta move forward. It's not just about feeling good. It's not just about looking good. It's about what are you doing to go to the next level? Are you making excuses about your situation? Are you doubling down on your depression? Or can you figure shit out by taking one step at a time? Most entrepreneurs are constantly beating themselves up way too much. Appreciate how far you've come. Appreciate that you're in this game. 90% of people don't make it. If you're in business 1 year, you already are part of the 10%. If you're in business for the past 5 years, you're part of the 1%. If you're in business for 10, 20 years, man, you're part of the 0.001%. I have a saying that says, if you can't appreciate the level that you're in right now, you can't go to the next level. Look at it as a video game. You have to pass this stage in order for you to collect your points to go to the next one. But if you refuse to face your anxiety, if you refuse to face your fears, you're always going to go back to square one. So my intention for you as you watch this video is to realize, number one, you're not alone. As you can see, 56% of entrepreneurs are stressed the fuck out. They have anxiety, they have fear. So you're not alone. Number two is there are tools for you to be able to use in order for you to deal with anxiety and depression. Number three, reach out for help. Talk to somebody about what you're going through. That's why I love what I do with having men's groups and a tribe that support men like you to be able to deal with this, because I know it's not easy. I know it's lonely at the top. I know most people can't relate to the shit that you're going through, because most people are looking at you as you are the man, you're the guy who's making things happen, and nobody's looking at your weaknesses, at the kinks in the armor. So reach out to people that understand you, because proximity is power. Because at the end, we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. So if you like this video, make sure you comment and check out this other video right here when I talk about what is the crisis that men are going through right now. What is the crisis that we're dealing with and how you can prevent being part of the problem and be part of the solution. Click on the video now. If you're ready to find the edge, go to kingscodebook.com to get the latest copy of my book, The King's Code. This book will help you find the clarity, the certainty, and the purpose that you need in order for you to lead with power. Go to kingscodebook.com and find your code to the edge now.